Hey guys, today I'm filming the first update in my chopping block Will I Declutter series of 2021. If you're unfamiliar with this series, I've been doing it for the past couple years on my channel, and basically at the beginning of the year, I choose out a group of products that I want to test and make a final decision whether I want to keep them or not. So in my intro video, which I link in the cards, I am showing you all of the products that I've picked out at that point. I may add some other things throughout the year. And then in these updates, I'm just going to talk about the things that I tested in that 2-month time period. And I'm also going to mention any other random things I chose to declutter, anything that I returned, and anything I had to throw out because it went bad. So there were 2 things that I returned since my intro. The first thing would be the NYX Slide On Glide On eyeliner in the shade Jewel. This is a really pretty mauve-y, slightly plummy color. It had a nice shimmer finish to it. And the reason that I returned this is because something about that formula really irritated my eyes and it made my waterline extremely itchy. And this was a brand new product, so it wasn't old or anything like that. I'm not sure what it was, and it's a bummer because I would love to try out other shades in that formula, but I'm too afraid to now. And I had heard people rave about that formula for years on YouTube, and of course, this is the only one I've tried. I was kind of disappointed by it. I felt like I had to go back and forth to really build up the color on my waterline, which was a bummer. And of course, with that irritation, I did have to return it. And the second product is something that I have not returned yet, but I'm planning to. So I want to show it to you while I still have it here. This is the ColourPop Animal Crossing 5-Star Island Palette. I did buy this from Ulta. It comes with 4 shades. So you have a shimmer, a matte, a pressed glitter, and a sequin, which is a matte base with tons of glitter in it. So I purchased this quad because I thought the colors were so cute. It had nothing to do with Animal Crossing for me. I've never played the game. I'm not a video game person. And I knew there was a chance I was not going to like this because of these 2 finishes. So I'm going to talk about each of these shades individually. So Island Time is this beautiful matte pink coral, and this is a shade that is not intended for the eye area because the pigment can stain your eyes. This is beautiful. This is definitely my favorite shade in the palette. It's very intense. It blends nicely though. But I'm not going to keep the quad just for this shade because I do have MAC Free to Be, which is very similar. It's just a little bit lighter and more wearable, which I actually prefer. Then this shimmery yellow shade is very pretty, but I really had to layer it up. It didn't show up that yellow on the lid. There is like some shimmery champagne mixed in here, and that showed up more in my eye. I did create 2 looks with this palette that I wore in videos that I will link. And this pink glitter shade, I don't like pressed glitters. This was actually pretty good though. I have tried to avoid them at all costs. The first palette from ColourPop that included a pressed glitter, if I'm remembering correctly, was the Sweet Talk palette. And that was just a hot mess. For this one, it actually performed a lot better. The binder in here is much better. This was really pretty looking on the eye. I did get some fallout throughout the day, which is annoying because glitter is not easy to brush away like other shadow fallout is. But I will say that ColourPop has improved their pressed glitter formula, which I'm happy to see. And then this sequin shade, I freaking hate it. ColourPop needs to stop doing that. It is such a powder mess. You put your brush in there and it is like an explosion. I do notice the glitter in my crease, which is just very irritating to me. I wish that this was just a regular matte. I did think that the eyeshadow looks I created with this palette were cute, but I don't think I'm going to reach for this a whole ton. Again, the one standout shade for me, I do have something similar to in my collection. So I am going to be returning this to Ulta. So there are some products in my random declutter that I'm throwing away, namely a couple ColourPop Super Shock shadows. I would be able to make them work, but they're not creamy enough that I would pass them on to somebody else. So I am going to end up throwing them away, but I'm putting them in my declutter category because they're still usable. But I do have one trash product, And this is a single from Urban Decay. It's the shade YDK. This is a gorgeous taupe eyeshadow. And the reason that I'm throwing this away is because, first off, it's ancient. I've had this since like 2012. I know, it was in like the old vintage packaging. I bought this on sale right before they came out with their new packaging. And I did just repurchase this. All of their single shadows went half off at Ulta because they got rid of them. They came out with new packaging. I was really hoping that they would release individual pan eyeshadows. They didn't. They just put their shadows in some square acrylic packaging, which is cute, but it's like really Urban Decay. This, like, y'all missed the mark again. Like, yes, people like singles, but people like singles in pans. They're cheaper that way. You can make your own palettes. Like, Urban Decay just is not perfectly in tune with all of us. But anyway, I love the shade. It is like the best taupe ever. I'm so happy that I bought it when I did because they sold out really fast. Of course, they didn't restock. So I'm gonna be throwing this away because I have a new one and I'm very excited about it. So for the chopping block items that I tested, there are 2 products that I'm going to be keeping for now. Again, like always, this is something that I will reevaluate before my finale at the end of the year. And they're both cheek products. And the first one is this Clinique Cheek Pop in Heather Pop. It's a really pretty mauve color. Of course, it is my name, which is cute, but you can tell I've used this a ton. I think this color is so pretty. This formula does perform really nicely. I just don't love this as much as I used to. Nothing's wrong with it. I just don't get excited when I use it, but it's a good staple blush for me. I do have a lot of winter mauve blushes, but I still really like this one. So I am going to be keeping this for now. And the thing is that like, I've used this so much, unless I gave it to my mom or my sister, I wouldn't want to give this to one of my friends because it's really beat up and I don't want to throw it in the trash. So that's why I'm mostly keeping that one, but I do really like it. And I am going to keep this Ofra Madison Miller palette. So you get 2 highlighters and a blush. The highlights are a little bit dark for me. I am able to make it work. This blush is so beautiful and very pigmented, great formula. Like, this face palette just isn't as exciting as the other ones I have in my collection, but I do like it. So I am going to be hanging on to the both of those for now. So now I'm going to show you the chopping block items that I'm going to be decluttering. And I have got some single shadows here. The first one is this MAC Color Drench Pigment in Tonight's the Night. It's a beautiful deep teal shade. I've worn this maybe once, which is such a shame. It was limited edition, so I think I might try to sell this. Definitely let me know if you're interested. And this next one, I'm just going to see if a friend wants it. This is ColourPop Leo. It's a beautiful golden eyeshadow. It has a lot of copper mixed into it. For some reason, this shadow, I don't know what it is about it. It's like a little bit flaky and I feel like it can emphasize dryness on my lids. Something about this formula I don't love. And in general, I think I haven't tried any ColourPop singles that have been released recently. I think that the formula in the singles and the palettes is different. The matte shades in singles that I have from ColourPop, I do like, but the shimmers for some reason, I feel like mostly just look kind of dry on the lid. So that's why I'm getting rid of that one. And then sadly, I'm going to be decluttering this L'Oreal Infallible in Amber Rush. And this is so pretty. I have hit pan on mine. It still performs really well. It's a beautiful, beautiful color, but I've had this since 2014. It is very old. I don't reach for this very often. And I do have Luna from Makeup Geek, which is pretty similar. So if I'm wanting to use this shade, I can reach for that Makeup Geek single. So this is going to be going in the trash as well. It's such a good product and I would still totally recommend it. I'm not reaching for it enough. So those singles are going to go. Then I have one palette. I really slacked on testing the palettes the first couple months in this year, but this is the Ofra Galaxy palette, which is their little purple signature palette. So the middle shade is a mini highlighter. This is the color Neptune. And then the other shades are just the regular eyeshadow formula. And I actually created a look using all of these shades. So I did lid, inner corner, transition, crease, outer corner. And I thought that this was really pretty. It was pigmented, it blended nicely, it performed very well. This shade here is like a little bit of a satin. I wish that one was a matte. Maybe they did it this way so it would blend a little better. I know that I've heard that purples can be pretty hard to formulate. I don't feel like I can get a ton of different looks out of this palette, which is okay. And I don't mind combining other palettes together. Performs well, but I just don't see myself reaching for this a ton. So I'm going to pass this on to a friend, but nothing is wrong with it. And then I have a couple lip products. The first is this Flower Beauty Petal Pout Lip Mask in the shade Nectar. It's just a pretty peachy shade. And the applicator, just like you twist it and the product comes out of the top. This has just a light amount of color. What does it smell like? It smells like MAC vanilla. And this just wasn't very hydrating. It was slightly sticky. It just did not feel like a lip treatment product. It was like a gloss, and I don't like the format of this, so I'm going to pass it on. It's not something that I would like to take the time to pan, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. Then I am passing along 3 Anastasia liquid lipsticks. I think Anastasia has an amazing color selection, but I just don't like this formula anymore. I do find it to be very drying. It can crack on my lips, and I wish I would have realized that I don't love this one that much before I bought so many shades back in the day. So the 3 colors that I'm getting rid of would be Trouble, which was a holiday shade, Dusty Rose, and Allison, which was also a holiday shade. So I'm going to be passing these on to a friend. And the last product that I tested I'm getting rid of is the Nude Sticks Intense Matte Lip and Cheek Pencil in Raven. It's very deep, vampy, like red with a little bit of purple in it. It's a very pretty shade. It can be a little bit patchy in the application. You definitely do have to kind of go back and forth a couple of times to make sure it's even. I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not a nude sticks girl. The only thing that I've tried that I can generally say I really enjoy from them is their Dewy Blush Stick. I have the Sweet Peach Peony shade. I really like that one, but basically everything else I've tried from them I haven't really loved, and I want to be a cool nude sticks girl like Mariah Leonard and Jamie Page Beauty and all of these other people that love the brand, but the products just don't work for me. So I am going to be passing this on, and I know a lot of people love to try this brand, so I know I will have some friends that would like to try that, but it's just not for me. So then I have all of the random products I'm going to be decluttering. So there are several things that are unused that I mostly pulled out of my backup drawer, which I like to do several times a year. I'll be like, all right, Heather, you really don't need a backup of that. So I put them in this separate little Sephora bag, and I will pass these on to friends or put these in giveaways. So I'm just gonna pull the things out randomly. This is the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Mascara. The packaging is very odd for this. Like, I don't know, this was a free sample. It's very weird packaging. I know this is like a double-ended mascara, but I just have so many. I don't need that. I have a travel size of the NARS Climax mascara. I've tried this before. I just don't love it. I have a mini of the MAC in Extra Dimension 3D Black Lash. Again, just too many mascaras. Then I have the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This is okay, not amazing. I have other eye primers that I would rather work on, and they take so long. I don't want this to expire in the meantime. I have a mini of the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. I'm gonna try to be panning the full size this year, and I do like it, but I have so many other primers to use. I decided I don't need a backup. I can just pass it on. Then I have this Huda Beauty Silk Balm in the shade Blush. I have one, and then I got a backup because I have a bunch of Sephora points, and I had tried this once and I thought I liked it, and then when I tried it again, I was not in love, so I thought this would be awesome to give away because I think it's a pretty good value. And then I'm going to be giving away 2 full-size MAC lipsticks that I got as free gifts that I've never used. I'm so mad this one I threw away the box for it, but it's not used. This is a MAC Frost lipstick in Costa Chic. Really intense. It seems like a really pretty summer color. And then the other one I have is one of the Powder Kiss lipsticks, and it's this beautiful red in Work, Work, Work. I was so tempted to keep this because it's so pretty, but I never wear red. I have a Charlotte Tilbury red that I wanted to give away, and I have a red liquid lipstick. And again, I like never wear them, but I just wanted to keep this so bad, but I'm not going to. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unused products from my collection that I will be passing on. And then I have this whole makeup bag full of random declutter. So I'm just going to randomly pull out of here. The first 2 things I have would be these Glossier cloud paints. I have the peachy shade Beam and the more nude shade Dusk. And I'm going to be sending these to Jocelyn Claire. She had mentioned in a video that she had tried some samples and enjoyed them, and I thought she would get more use out of these than I would. So I'm going to be sending those to her very soon. I just wanted to show them in this video. Then I am going to be decluttering all 3 of the Joa Crystal Glow products that I got from my Influencer Vox box. This collection is just not for me and my oily skin and my preference in makeup. So that would be the Refreshing Luminizer Skin Mist, the Jelly Balm Highlighter, and the Tinted Luminizer Stick. I'm getting rid of some of the makeup products from the try-on haul I did with Stylevana. These just don't fit my makeup preferences. So this first one is a Hamish Rose eyeshadow palette, and then this McQueen blush in Apricot Peach is just too light for me, but it did perform well. I actually also am going to be decluttering the skincare products I tried as well. They were all rose scented, which is not my preference, so I'm going to be sending those to friends. So I'm bummed I didn't love these products, but I would definitely still be interested in trying other Asian beauty products, and I would love to hear your favorites for skincare and makeup in the comments down below. And next, I'm sadly going to be decluttering this ColourPop Give It To Me Straight palette. The quality is great. The colors are very, very beautiful. I just have tons of these in my collection and I don't reach for this very much, so I think this would be a great palette to pass on to someone. Then I've got some single shadows I'm passing on. These are the ones I mentioned previously. I still haven't decluttered them yet. And then I'm getting rid of these 2 shades down here. This first one is from ColourPop in the shade Double Date. It is a pretty color. It just was a little bit flat on the eyes. And then the same with Anastasia Cognac. So this is technically like a shimmer warm brown, but it's not that shimmery. It looks more like a satin, which is just not my thing. I want you to be very shimmery metallic or matte. I don't really want anything in between. I'm getting rid of this Revlon Color Stay Normal to Dry Skin Foundation in 150 Buff. It's a really good shade match for me. I just don't love this formula. It gives medium coverage, has a natural finish. Nothing's really wrong with it. I just have a lot of other foundations that are all basically brand new, and I like those formulas more than this one, and it takes me a very long time to get through foundation. I am decluttering the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. This is a full size. This worked well with some foundations. It's more of like that putty primer consistency, a little bit more moussey. I just don't prefer this for a pore filling primer. I have a couple other formulas I like better. And again, I know these take a long time to use up. I've got a couple more cream blushes. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Cream Blush in 390 Ripe and Ready. I felt like this was a little bit patchy on the cheeks. It wasn't the easiest to apply. Liquid blush is a little challenging for me. Then I'm decluttering this NARS Multiple in the shade Orgasm. I'm honestly annoyed at myself if I ever tried this in the first place. I knew I was, you know, there was a good chance that I would declutter it, but I really wanted to try it. It's not bad. It is pigmented. It's nice and shimmery. It gives a beautiful flush of color to the cheeks. I just don't need it. I'm also going to be getting rid of this Nude Sticks Nudies All Over Face Bronze color in the shade Sun-Kissed. So it's a little discolored at the top because I've got some foundation on it. The matte formula I just don't find as easy to blend. The shade is a little dark for me in a cream blush. I don't really mind intense or deeper blushes and powder because I feel like they're easier to blend out. Like I said, I prefer the dewy formula much more over the matte, and I just don't need it. Then I've got another cream blush. This is a mini of the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur Blush in Mauve Sunrise. I love this, but I have the full size now, so I went to give that to a friend. I have this Nude Sticks Magnetic Luminous Eye Color, which is just their shadow stick. This is in the shade Nudity, which is a taupey color. I just don't love this formula. It's okay, but the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks are much better for me. This Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in Junk Show is very pretty. I do have another shade that's similar, and I just don't use these enough, so I would rather give it to someone else who would use it before it would dry up. And then this ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in Venus is this beautiful bright red. This is my favorite pencil liner formula, but I just don't see myself reaching for this shade too much because of how intense it is. Then I've got 5 ColourPop Super Shock shadows that I am decluttering that I will be throwing out. Like I said, they're just not juicy enough for me to feel okay passing them on to someone else, but I'm not counting them in my trash category because I could still make them work if I wanted to. This shade is Prickly Pear. It's a metallic finish. Koosh is an ultra metallic finish. Static is a pearlized finish. Fooling Around is a pressed pigment finish. Party of 5 is an ultra glitter finish. So out of these 5 shades, Static got very gummy, and then the other 4 are just very dry. These colors are pretty, but I have other things that I reach for more, and I just don't need them. I am really trying to curate my Super Shock shadow collection to just be shades I really love, so I'm getting rid of all 5 of those. I have 3 lip products. The Huda Beauty Silk Balm. Like I said, when I tried this on, I just didn't love it. It was a little thick feeling. It wasn't the most hydrating, and I just didn't want to take the time to pan this. Then I have this mini Buxom Full Force lipstick in Dolly Dreamer. The formula of this was super creamy. It was really, really nice. This is just not a color I go for. It's a little bit deep for me, but I would love to try this, and I know they have like a 90s nudes collection. I would love to try out some of those shades. And I'm also going to get rid of this Too Faced Melted Matte in Cinnamon Bear. I love the scent. This is a beautiful red color, but again, I don't wear reds very often, and I did end up keeping a different red liquid lipstick, and my friend Jean wears red a lot, so I think she would really enjoy this one. Then I have 4 polishes I'm getting rid of. The first is this OPI Nail Envy in Bubble Bath, just too sheer for me. OPI You Don't Know Jacques is a classic color, but I just don't love deep shades on me, and this is a little too gray. Then I have these L'Oreal polishes that were limited edition. This is one of their gold dust textured polishes in the statement piece. This is very dried out. This one's gonna go in the trash. And then I have this Collection Privé Doudson's Nude. It's a pretty light mauvey pinky nude color, but I have similar shades that I prefer and would reach for over this one. I probably have more shades in this color family I need to clutter, but I can't quite make myself do so. So guys, that was my first update for my chopping block of 2021. I do feel really happy with the amount of products that I decluttered from my collection. I would love to know your thoughts on these products in the comments down below, and I would also love to know how you feel about decluttering in general and what items you have decluttered from your collection recently, or maybe some things that you returned because you didn't love them as much as you thought you would. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.